Well, good afternoon to everybody. Thank you for your patience at this time of the day. Personally, I arrived at 2 a.m. this morning, so it has been a long day also. We are the official presenters of the innovation report in magazine media, sponsored by FIPP since 15 years ago, something like that. And my presentation is going to summarize the basic content that you can find in this report. We are launching our next report in March, also in FIPP event. So you're welcome to order it. So we're basically a consulting firm. We are global experts in helping media companies innovate in this sort of uncertain world. And some of the topics that I bring in this report are basically known by you. We are providing examples and trends so that you can complement your business strategies and your editorial strategies as well. These are some of our clients. We provide service all over the planet. We have worked in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, Latin America, in the US. So we provide this worldwide coverage and expertise for you to take into account. So basically, we are bringing the most successful magazine media innovations in the world in this report, where we have invested 12 months of research and incorporated our 20 years of consulting work experience into this content. So we are providing 6 keys to success. We are careful, as my colleague Samir told us this morning, we are careful to predict, but certainly we have seen these keys to success as a pattern in terms of innovation. All routes, as you know, are respected, and they can take us through to the same vision of being sustainable, of financing journalism, independent journalism, with advertising or with other sources of revenue. So that's the disclaimer that every consulting presents in this type of presentations. So first key, we think mobile is the dominant platform. It's inevitable. It came here. It's all over the place. Video is going to be also the dominant mode. Native advertising will be the dominant vehicle. Programmatic will be the dominant method. Data will dominate decisions. And events and e-commerce will help replace lost print revenue. As you can see, these 6 keys to success are additional sources of revenue that we can complement and we can bring to strengthen our legacy platforms. But certainly, this is not, as you have said before, the silver bullet. These are new sources of revenue that we have to explore and experiment so that we can absorb the digital environment as another environment for our businesses. So our agenda today basically will cover mobile and mobile advertising, native advertising, programmatic advertising, ad fraud, video, print, events, e-newsletters, and culture change, and everything in 30 minutes. So I'll have to rush. Well, first of all, mobile. Is the importance of mobile exaggerated? We covered that in 15 pages here in our report. Absolutely not. We think that given the hard facts, we have already 7.2 billion more mobile devices exist than people. And as you can see, in every country, no matter the social status of the population, more and more people are owning a mobile device, a smartphone, and you're always checking your mobile devices frequently, so it's the dominant platform for us to consider both in terms of content and advertising. Already 75% of traffic is generated through this platform, and as you can see, well, many of the companies that are quoted here already are considering this. And this is not just a mobile mind shift. I think we have to consider it, as our presentators described early this afternoon. It's a new change of psychology of consumers, notwithstanding their age. I think both immigrants and native digitals are using this platform all over the place. And we have to understand that we still consume and have information habits, but based on the hour, based on the context, we have to understand what type of consumption is required. So everything is different. We have a different set of audience expectations, we have different environment, and we have different editorial, advertising, and e-commerce tools and mindsets to consider. So mobile content must be quick, concise, constant, readable and usable on small screens, and contextually relevant. And that's the big challenge that we're facing right now. So in our book, we have these topics that you can consider: how to tell if Google likes you, 11 mobile editorial tips, and native apps or mobile web. What about mobile advertising? Is it stupid not to have a strategy? It's not just stupid, it's suicidal. So we have different statistics that prove the investment in advertising and the contribution of the platforms that reiterate that mobile has broken a paradigm in terms of advertising as a medium and video ads. These are statistics from China and other countries. They never return back if they encounter a problem. So loyalty is a challenge. But optimized sites get rewarded. 80% of users also say they recommend brands based on the brand's mobile web presence. So you can find in this book advertising best practices, innovative mobile ads, and the best mobile video ads that we've encountered in this period of time. What about native advertising? Will it kill or save your brand? We have to stop arguing about it. I think it's evident. It's here to stay. Native grew 21% last year. Desktop only grew 1%. And publishers already are embracing it. 20% used native in 2014, and another did it 25% in 2015. There's an increase, incredible increase in brand affinity and in intent to purchase. The readers, what about the readers? 70% want ad stories. 90% accept native. But they say, do not hoodwink us. We have to be honest. So what's the risk? Having a bad experience. Because there's no loyalty. 58% never use site again. Half, the word of mouth is very powerful. Half they tell friends. And they require an exact revenge. Critics are also skeptical. It says it doesn't work, it could damage the brand, it amounts to hoodwinking, and also whoring, excuse my French. But bad native is not just bad execution. Great native is as good as editorial. So our recommendations that we found is label it clearly, hire great writers, and house them separately, and insist on editorial video. So in our book, you can find great native ads and companies who can help. Programmatic advertising. Get on board or get run over. So it's, again, no doubt, programmatic is here to stay. It's like the assembly line in the automotive manufacturing industry. And it can find the right audience at the right price at the right time. Only in the US, programmatic amounts to $15 billion. And for the first time, it's the majority of the digital display ad dollars. And it's increasing. It will be 66% this year. 75% of advertisers use it to buy display ads. 50% use it to buy mobile and video ads. And already leaders such as American Express and Procter & Gamble are converting their ad digital spend to programmatic. And consumers are signaling back to brands what they like and they don't like, what they are willing to pay for and what they're not, and what they're looking for right now. And it also free sales people from grunt work. They can concentrate on value-added proposals. So it does not eliminate jobs. And human intelligence is not replaced. We still need creativity, strategy, data interpretation, etc. The other myth was it will lower CPMs. Well, it does not. Because with better quality audience, quality brand, and quality content, CPMs are beginning to increase. So in this book, you can find private networks to protect your CPMs, handle transparency and the learning curve if you are going to implement it. What about digital ad fraud? You might think it doesn't affect you, but it's affecting everyone. The National Advertising Association already said that it's ubiquitous. You can find it everywhere. And there's a crisis point in terms of traffic generated by machines and not humans. 25% of all video ad impressions are already fraudulent, viewed by robots. Over 10% of all digital display impressions are fraudulent. 50% of all third-party traffic purchased by publishers is fraudulent. And they are acting like humans. They can fool CAPTCHAs, they can move a mouse, they can click ads, they can fill out forms, they buy things, they visit multiple sites. And there are a lot of ad frauds that probably your auditors are keen about it. So fraud strikes at the heart of our business. We're talking about trust, we're talking about analytics, we're talking about metrics, and there's a high level of unreliability if we encounter this type of ad frauds. So it wrecks every part of the equation if we're not careful about it. So in this book, you will find strategies to detect and prevent fraud, friends in the fight, and mobile ad fraud. E-newsletters. Can e-newsletters build habits revenue? Yes, you bet. It's like the cockroach of the internet. It will never disappear. It's often dismissed as something all people use, but it's becoming a platform as strong as Twitter or Facebook in the web. It's the preferred news source for executives, and 83% preferred email for sharing over other platforms. We have certain examples like Quartz Daily Brief, that in 25 months it has reached already 100,000 subscribers. It has sold out ad inventory and maintains a 50% open rate. And Timing's The Brief, already with 650,000 subscribers, open rate of 40%, and Postcard for your commute. So you can also find some useful guidelines in this book and tips for small publishers in terms of newsletters as a source of revenue. Events. Can events deliver substantial revenue? Yes, and they can give a lot of exposure to your brand also. They can boost exposure, diversify your revenue sources. They are harder to disrupt than other revenue sources, deepens connections with audiences and sponsors, high circulation, beat competition to own a niche, and attract advertisers who might advertise in the magazine's media. Some publishers even have 20% of their total revenue from events, such as Vanity Fair, with this example, or Fortune. The Atlantic, 125 events a year. Imagine the organization to do that and the logistics. But it pays off. So you can also find useful tips in terms of who is excelling in events, what are the best practices in terms of ethics, and planning tips and tricks for organizing events in your companies. Video. If we don't do much video, we will be okay? No. You'll be irrelevant. It's already 79% of global consumption in traffic, up from 66% in 2013. And you'll also be broke. So your choice is either maintain your text, where you can find an average of $2.50 in CPMs with a shrinking share of traffic, or increase your CPMs to an average of $24 and a growing share of traffic. And by the way, video also gets 800 more conversions than only text-only pages, 64% more actual sales, 88% longer visits, and 1,200% more shares than posts with links and text combined. So the same dominance applies to ads. Already the New York Times recognizes that the ones with video are absolutely outperforming. So there's a quiz for you. How many people in the world watch a live stream of the Beijing 2018 Summer Olympics? Some guesses. James, what's your bet? Good. It was 10 million. How many people in the world watched a live stream of the London 2002 Summer Olympics? Some guess. 500 million? Others? 1 billion. So you can see the difference. It's amazing. Another example, Condé Nast, they hired a vice president of video, concentrated and focused its strategy, and it had a tsunami of traffic in terms of viewers. They rose to the 23rd position in just 8 months. So a lot of videos are explicative or explainer. They make video a priority, and they hire video digital natives. They establish cost controls. They repurpose each video multiple times, and they promote and distribute clips across multiple platforms. And before we leave video, keep in mind for advertising. Already 54% of sponsored content is going through this medium. So in this book, you will find video strategy checklists, how to do cost-effective videos, and tips also for creating great video. What about data? Absolutely. You need intelligent use of data, as you might have heard this morning. You need to understand your audiences through data mining, external and internal. But you also need to understand how to organize to make this happen. So the first big decision is to consolidate your databases. Second decision, establish the metrics. Then, what data? It's not only page views or unique visitors, it's attention minutes, it's engaged time, it's time spent reading. You focus on the quality of the interaction, not just the time. And they give you the ability to predict the type of stories that bring readers back. We've heard that retention is elusive in the digital age. Therefore, the ability to understand the profiles of our audiences is crucial. So products, events with hard evidence will work. The role of marketing intelligence, for instance, is truly strategic in our companies. The third big decision is whom to hire. We need data scientists. Samir, excuse me, but I'll say that we need a chief data scientist. Sorry. The chief data scientist should be a member of this editorial management team, and it's a totally different animal. Data analysis must impact decisions, and the traditional educational background of journalists is not enough. We need people that know programming languages, that know how to query in a database, visualize data, design and evaluate experiments. So for those that are journalists, you are kind of with eyes crossing, but it's a statistician, it's another type of background that we need to complement in the newsroom. So in this book, you will also find who's doing it right, how to get beyond the page view, and how to create your own data dashboard, as well as how to hire a great data scientist. So those are ways that can surprise us in terms of creativity to link print with other platforms and being more interactive with our audiences. Can print still surprise us? As I said before, human beings are illimited in terms of creativity. You cannot just bring ideas back and tell everyone, do this. You cannot mandate innovation. Nor does innovation happen because you hire a few mad coders or digital natives. Nor does innovation happen because you wish upon a star. So innovation only happens when it's truly aligned with your business strategy and requires a complete organizational transformation in order to avoid being cosmetic. You must change organizational structures, workflows, architecture. You saw the physical layout of India Today this morning, job descriptions, staff mix, culture, because without that, you cannot make things happen. So you will find statu quo protectors, the famous digital immigrants, the legacy defenders, but you will have to create a culture of innovation. And as self-serving as it sounds, you must bring something in from the outside, because you have to solicit, engage, and involve your staff. So our recommendation is to meet with your staff in different formats, ask a lot of questions, listen to the answers to describe the today, answers to describe what your vision, what your hope is, and create the vision, collecting results, doing market research, data analysis, talking to customers, adding your ideas, and communicating so that everybody is in the same page. You have to share the responsibility. Part of lower hierarchies in the organization is that you will have to empower more your teams and watch the transformation occur. So our recommendation is to have the courage to change boldly. Don't use a plaster, it's very dangerous. And if you don't change how you operate, you can expect to change your fate. So insanity, like Einstein says, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So to innovate and change, you must get out of your comfort zone and do things differently. Deeply disruptive and uncomfortable, could be painful, but it's rewarding. You can help your staff seeing themselves as victims, make them part of the process, give them the opportunity to have a hand in creating their own future, and you'll see results. You will see advocates and leaders that will get you to create that vision and together achieve the results. So it's really time to innovate or die. And thank you very much.